This week on Nerds Who Get Laid Sometimes, the nerds discuss video games and E3. So many video games. They also discuss the future of DC Entertainment, Dr. Sleep, Captain Marvel, as well as their NerdOns for the week, and so much more. So prepare for an awesome podcast in 3, 2, 1.
But hey, welcome to another exciting episode of Nerds Who Get Laid Sometimes. I am the one true host, Michael, or as my friends call me,
the one host,
Mike. I have with me Ray.
Hey.
We have Chuck.
Hi.
We have TJ.
Hello.
Nathan has taken a
sabbatical.
Sabbatical. Yeah. You took the word right out of my mouth. He's going to be doing a few different things. He is going to find himself in Mexico. He has recorded the greatest album ever that will ever be listened to. He's going for his EGOT, his Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony.
Oh, gotcha.
He doesn't have any of those yet, but he's hopeful.
Well, I mean, he's starting with the Grammy right now.
You gotta start somewhere. I mean,
yeah,
start with the easy one.
Well, I mean, he thinks he's good at music, but I mean,
just because his kid says so,
you don't have to be
so
good. Quote air quotes.
You don't have to be good at music to win a Grammy.
Yeah,
that is true.
Even if you play Wonderwall at every single, gathering, it doesn't make you a good guitarist. But I think his Oasis and Tom Jones fusion cover album is going to be really good.
Oh yes.
Yeah. How's everyone's week been so far?
Decent.
Tiring
and decent.
Yeah.
What about you?
A little nerve-wracking.
Chuckles.
And it's gradually
Chuck has been drugged up all week.
Into a better week.
Snowball is not the word I want to hear about your drug problem. I don't want to know the lengths you'll go to get more tramadol.
What's that?
Snowball?
Okay.
Snowball?
No, it's snowballing is, but no.
I'm sure you know what snowballing is. Yes.
I love Kevin Smith.
Yes, I bet you do.
Yeah.
That was your first snowball. So we got tiring, we got busy, decent, and we got snowball.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was yours decent, Mike?
No. I mean, it was kind of.
It was decent then.
I thought you said decent.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, I thought I said okay. I thought I said pretty good, but I'll stick with decent.
Yeah. Decent and pretty good are close together.
They're close.
Yeah.
Pretty good is like right above decent, unless you do like the Bubbles Trailer Park. Decent. Then it's like really high end.
Mine was on vacation, so I exhausted myself. Of course.
Yeah. Were the kids with you?
Yeah.
Then you were not on vacation. Yeah, you were just dealing with
unless you were drunk the whole time.
You were just dealing with them in a different location. Just high up in the mountains. I was hoping the high altitude lack of oxygen would make them a little slower, but no luck. No luck.
It just made TJ slower.
Yeah.
And older. It's like the Machine and Princess Bride. I took 1 year off of his life. Trudging through the mountains. Well, speaking about TJ's wonderful week in the mountains and Charles snowballing, I think we should move on to our Nerd On.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Yep.
Okay.
Get your nerd on. 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 Get your nerd on.
Hey, everybody, this is our weekly segment, Nerd On, where we talk about the
this is
things
Nerd On.
Yeah,
we've
Nerd On.
been nerding out on.
Hence the intro for it.
So this is a segment we do now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is this new?
we're trying it out. I'm acting like this is not the first time, guys. Come on.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So what we do, guys, is we talk about the things we've been nerding out. doing this week,
quote unquote,
that could be construed as something a nerd would do. So I'm going to start out, save the worst for first. We got Ray.
I did a lot of things this week that were not nerd related. So I'll go through my 2 nerd related things that I did do. We've still been watching True Blood. And we ran through season 6, and we're finally on season 7, which is the last season. I thought I had seen all but the last season, but we had not seen season 6. And I think Mike last week was saying that season 6 and 7 were pretty decent, and season 6 was good.
They pulled themselves out of like this weird kind of slump they had for
a couple of seasons
2 to 5.
Yeah. 2 was rough, 3 was rough.
They get so like mired down in showing how magical the world is. It's like they have enough story to tell already without adding in everything else.
Exactly.
And I think that's kind of where their folly is, because in 6 and 7, I felt they kind of pull back in a little bit.
To like season 1 almost.
They peel back at too much of the onion.
Not so much. Like a lot of people hated the fairy storyline.
It was okay. It was just kind of bullshit.
I think it's better further on. Like the actual seasons where they go into all that was a little bit rough, but this season they've gone into the Warlow stuff where he's spoilers for a 20-year-old show.
I just love Rutger Hauer dressed like Willy Wonka.
Oh man, I have to see this now.
Yeah,
I love Rutger Hauer,
but he's a hybrid of a fairy and a vampire.
I don't remember. Okay, that's right. Yeah,
so when he shows up, I'm like, that's fucking Warlow. And then he starts doing fairy shit. I'm like, oh, maybe I'm wrong. But then he actually turned out to be. And that season was really good. And then all of a sudden, we jumped to season 7. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Because it's another one of those where it jumps like in time.
Oh yeah,
and I love that.
Yeah,
when
it pulled the Parks and Rec stole that from True Blood.
Yeah. Well, they also did that in Battlestar Galactica, and they did it excellently in there. Mm-hmm. But that I didn't realize we had gone to a new season. I'm like, what the fuck, Allison? What's going on? You skipped one. You obviously skipped one. Go back, look, check. We skipped one, but no, it had just gone on to season 7. But so far, on this rewatch, because like I said, up until season 6, I had seen everything. I'm really enjoying it. It's been really good so far.
What were the season with like the super old crazy fucking Southern vampire? I loved him. He was like a skinny dude.
Fucking
what was his name?
Russell Edgington.
Yeah, Edgington.
Fucking Russell Edgington.
I love Russell Edgington.
Insane. And then he becomes like lovers with fucking Church of Light guy.
Oh yeah.
What's that dude's? Bill Newland. Fucking Newland. God damn.
That dude was like
acting the shit out of it.
He was like, if Gaius Baltar was completely unlikable, that's what Steve Newland was.
Yeah, if Gaius Baltar didn't give a fuck what people thought and was so flamboyant.
Just a weasel. That dude was a weasel.
God, he was so good. That's the thing. This show has some really fucking good actors in it.
Yeah.
It's just not the main characters.
You know,
Sookie is horrible.
Yeah.
And Bill is horrible.
Rogue.
Yeah. Yeah, they're both like pretty bad. But some of the other people, like, again, spoilers if you haven't seen it, but Terry just died.
I love Terry.
Terry was the best person, the best man in Bon-Ton, the best person in Bon-Ton.
And he looked just like you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I think
I always
Terry's
liked Lafayette. He was
Lafayette
my favorite.
is probably the second best, which is saying a lot because he's a fucking drug dealer and like just kind of most of the time wants to look out for himself.
I know,
but knows better. Like he's like, oh god, he wants to get the fuck out of there, but he's like, god damn it, I gotta go help these motherfuckers.
I gotta help these damn bitches.
Yeah, bitches.
Yeah, those bitches.
But
it's my best Lafayette.
Bitches. Man, it's been really good though. I'm surprised at how like rewatching it again. It's been good because I remember season 2 was rough, season 3 was rough, season 4 was meh, season 5 was better. Some of the Authority stuff was pretty good, but season 6 was really good, and season 7, I'm looking for more of the same. So
Yeah, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. They ended the show quite well.
Good.
I feel.
Because I think the reason I stopped it was because of, like, we watched the whole Billa thing.
Yeah, that was kind of lame.
And so like this season or season 6 when he's being Billith, it's not as bad. But that whole season where he's just like a naked blood monster is kind of rough. Anyway, other than that, I started. We've been given early access to Luke Cage. Season 2. And I did a review of episode 1 and 2. It should be up on the GWW now.
Ooh, was it good?
The season 1, episode 1 was a little slow.
A lot of story? Or a lot of negative empty space?
Just a lot of setting up what's going on.
Getting status quo back in.
Getting the status quo, because we're after Defenders and after Jessica Jones season 2.
How mean are the streets, Luke? We got to establish.
Yeah. So episode 1 was good, but there was of course it starts out with action, and there's like a little spurts of it here and there, but none of
just like Seaman.
Yeah, exactly. But none of the Netflix shows are really all about action. Like, you get some in Daredevil.
They don't have the budget for it.
Well, you get some in Daredevil, and you got some...
You got a lot in Punisher.
That's true. Punisher... Well, I don't think you got as much as you think you did. I think you got some really good scenes.
You got really good scenes, but you didn't have action all the balls to the wall every episode.
Every episode, you might have a scene that's a fight, but that's about it. And it might not be a long fight, and it might not be a good fight.
And the none of them were as cool as the ones where he's in the mountains either.
Specifically vicious.
Yeah. The Punisher was vicious as fuck.
Yeah.
But, so episode 1, of course, starts out, Luke Cage is going through, like, these drug dens or whatever, and beating ass. And people know who Luke Cage is. They did in Defenders and stuff. And so, like, it's kind of, like I said, kind of just setting the status quo. Here's the people that's going to be involved. This is what's going on. So it was a little slow, but it was still very enjoyable. Episode 2, though, less action. I feel like there was less action in it, but it had me hooked. It was really, really good. And that's as far as I've gotten into it. So I was feeling good about the setup that they were having in episode 1, even though episode 1 felt a little like lacking because they were having to do all of that. But episode 2 was kind of a payoff for that. And I'm excited to see where they go with it, because Jessica Jones season 1 is my favorite Netflix Marvel show. It's hard to say my second one. Luke Cage is high up there, though. Punisher was so good.
Yeah.
And, like, Daredevil season 1 is the beginning of all of this Netflix stuff. And it was really good, too. So it's really hard to say, but I think Luke Cage, they're all pretty even. So I really enjoyed, say all of that to say I really enjoyed season 1 of Luke Cage, so I'm looking forward to season 2. I didn't like season 2 of Jessica Jones as much as I like season 1, but I still enjoyed it. I still enjoyed it. I didn't think it touched season 1. Season 1 was incredible.
The problem I had with season 1 of Luke Cage was it kind of fell off after the middle.
Yeah,
but I felt the first part of it all the way.
The first part was
Cottonmouth.
The whole Cottonmouth storyline
was incredible.
Yeah.
The second part of it, when he gets hurt and has to go, whatever. But so far, I'm only 2 episodes in. But
now when
I'm looking forward. It comes out on the 22nd.
22nd, okay.
22nd. So it's soon. Is that this week?
Yeah,
Saturday.
That'll be this week.
Yeah, that'll be
Thursday, maybe.
No, Saturday.
Friday. It'll be Friday.
Okay,
that's Friday.
So Friday it's going to hit. So that this is Monday when this drops. So you've got a few more days.
Rebecca Black loud.
Exactly. Friday. Yeah, that's it for me. I watched Luke Cage and I watched True Blood.
Wow.
I also bought a truck that's not nerd related, but I'm excited about it.
It's pretty awesome.
Congrats. It's a nice truck, big ass Triton engine.
Yeah.
Gorgeous
big ass
interior.
Ray's got a big boy truck now.
Yeah, basically, I would say it added a good 2 to 3 inches to his penis.
Oh, absolutely.
Almost as much as the 5 my truck added to mine. For
So
a
now
total
Mike's
of
in the
5.5. Yeah,
Yeah, I was about to say. Now I'm up to 2.5.
basically reversing my vagina. Michael's got a mangina. Oh, stepbrothers. Okay, Chuck, speaking of manginas, let's talk about your nerd on.
Started this week watching season 4 of Flash.
Mm-hmm. How is like...
Wait, is
like
season
the
4
superhero
Of
or
Flash.
like the guy
Flash
who
and people.
flashes his
the guy that lives in your apartment complex that just knocks on your door and opens
That you
his
see
gun.
in the mirror
I'm
every
going to talk about the show first, but no,
Okay.
I started
So
season 4.
is this the newest season or
Yeah.
okay? And it's on Netflix now.
Yes, entire season.
I have not watched it yet.
I remember hearing a lot of people weren't happy with the season.
Yeah,
I'm
I've heard
enjoying
it's
it.
rougher.
No, it's really good.
Chuck has a skewed opinion though, so we can't really trust it.
I mean,
I
he's got
understand.
200 wrestling DVDs.
Well, the Flash, it is good. I think it's better than the third season.
Really?
This sets up a lot more.
Does he switch to like a brawler wrestling style of fighting? Is that why you enjoy like he like Flash wrestles people?
No, but there's a guy who kind of does a little bit of wrestling in it, but it's just
little
weird.
head scissor takedown.
Elongated
Yes.
Man's in this one, right?
Yes.
This season? Okay.
Yes,
But his dick can be huge. Can
But,
be huge.
it kind of goes back to. I can't really spoil it because it's still kind of current.
It's
of course
pretty new.
you can.
Don't spoil it.
Apparently,
Don't
I
That's
do.
your bread and butter. Spoil
But
things.
apparently,
You're basically a fridge
Chuck's
that got
gone.
They're
Chuck's
behind-
done. We're gonna break into this real quick. Chuck has metamorphed from Neck Man in our group to Spoiler Man.
Yeah.
He loves to spoil things, so
Well,
we're
okay.
gonna try to save
Almost-
you from that, guys.
Almost as much as Nathan.
Yeah. Well, in season
Yeah.
3,
Nathan's just a dick.
Nathan is, if he's seen it, then it's spoiler
like,
for
I'm trying.
territory.
Like season 3, they mentioned the main villain for season 4 a couple times,
Okay.
and it's pretty much
Darth Vader.
the Thinker is his name.
Okay.
Do you come upon him on the toilet?
No, he calls himself the Thinker, and it's pretty much he's always ahead of them, and a lot of weird shit is going on in this season because I can't really talk about it. It's
Yeah.
really good because if you haven't seen season
so
3,
you're enjoying it?
yes, it's a lot. I
Tell
like
us
it
how
more than
it
3.
makes you feel.
There's the show The Flash is a lot of times in some of the episodes it will pull at your heartstrings. They get you really good in this one.
Like Futurama dog on the sidewalk?
One part in season 4 so far like that,
Okay, I'm not watching it.
but it's still good. Almost done with that, and
No, it's great if it has that.
yeah.
I might take up Nathan's recommendation on Evil Genius.
Don't take up any of Nathan's recommendations.
I
Fuck
recommend-
him.
I
He's not
recommend-
here.
I know, no, what I'm saying it does seem like it'd be something good. And then I'm gonna try to get into Voltron season
Well,
6
we're
at some
talking
point
about
this week.
things that we did, not things that we're going to do.
Oh, no,
We're
I gotta-
talking
Let me
about
tell you
something
how
we're
good
going
my
to do.
nerd-on's
When I'm
going to
done.
be next
When I'm
week.
done. But I also finished the Ryera Revelations.
Oh,
Is
Is that the prequels?
no Chronicles
God
is the
damn
prequels,
it.
right?
Chronicle is the prequels.
Yeah. Finish Revelations.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yes.
It's one of the best series I've ever. Michael Sullivan, if you're listening,
Apparently,
I love you.
I spoiled it. Even though, how old is that series, Mike?
Yeah,
You 100% spoiled it.
it's not just old. You have to think of it kind of like context.
Okay.
As the fact is, like, they have a high propensity to read it. They may actually read it because we've all said we loved it. It's unlikely,
Okay,
but
it's
they
true.
still might.
Well, and also books, I feel like books are different than movies or TV shows.
Yeah.
The way people consume books is completely different.
Yes.
I also want to bring up that I learned how to make a Sazerac this week.
Okay. Cool.
And
but
we're
just
drinking those this week.
how it's like it's going with Princess Medea, and then the introduction of Mercy, and how that's how it's going, and then it's somebody else is the actual heir, and I'm like, holy, that's when I kind of blew up, and it freaked me out. And the
I feel like that was a spoiler, but I don't know. I haven't read this.
Plot twist.
You would have to.
you got to enjoy the books.
You'd have to read about like 40, 50 hours of books for that to make sense.
Yes.
So by the time you get there, you won't
Don't
remember
forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the whole thing with
Fuck.
Magnus, I didn't care for Magnus at all, and then towards the very
Till
end,
the
I
end.
was like,
You humanize
God
them.
damn it,
For
man.
the listeners
Well,
out there, we're not talking about what Nathan calls Magneto.
Yeah.
No,
Magnus.
this is a dwarf,
It's a dwarf.
and
They
Yes.
dwarfinize them. They don't humanize them.
and I am almost done with Mike's last recommendation.
Almost done?
The
That's a
Outsider.
long-ass fucking book.
18 hours. I've listened to it all week.
Oh, yeah.
18 hours.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
you still liking it?
nothing.
I'm at the part where Holly turns into Homie the Clown.
Oh yeah,
well, that's probably not a spoiler either.
No, I mean that's very broad. But
Mike knows what I'm talking about.
yeah, well, it turns out, and I didn't realize this, that Holly is. You might have picked up on it from the book, but she is actually a character in the Bob Hodges trilogy. The books that he recently wrote, Mr. Mercedes.
I have not read that.
Finders, Keepers, and End of Watch. They reference the books multiple times. I didn't realize that. The way they described her character, it seemed like she was a recurring character, and because they kept like offering a lot of detail to her backstory.
Yeah,
more so than just
like with Ralph.
Anybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I found out she's actually in that. So I might read that, and apparently it's along the same lines as far as how the book plays out, police procedural.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really excited to read them.
Yeah. It took me a while to get into it because Patton's voice, I didn't realize who it was at the time. It was it was bothering me. I was like, the accent, I don't get it. No,
it's Will Patton.
Will Patton.
Oh,
it was bothering me, and I looked it up. And saw it was. I'm like, okay, now I get the voice. I recognize
posted a picture of him, and
I wasn't paying attention to it.
Nobody pays attention to what I post on the thread.
I do, Mike.
Highly recommend it.
Let's talk about
Mike.
Dan
It was a
Connor.
great book, Mike. Recommended.
Glad you enjoy it.
Yeah,
I read all the bullshit and give you the good ones.
But I do like at the point how Patton sounds like McConaughey with one of the characters.
Yeah. He's really good. He can do Southern drawl real well.
And he mentions his quartet also. So
they mentioned Ka in the book. Oh yeah, they do.
So I was wondering, is he still connecting everything to the Dark Tower?
It's all connected, baby. It's just another beam in the tower.
Yeah. But pretty much what I've done, I mean, I also bought 2 games, but I have not played them yet. Price checked at the local Walmart, South Park, The Fractured But Whole.
Oh, yeah.
I need to get that.
If you buy it, the code for Stick of Truth is no longer valid. It expired 31st of January. Yeah.
You put the code in and it didn't work?
I opened it and it's like expires January 31st.
Did you put the code in?
Not yet.
Put the code in.
Oh,
sometimes they'll still work.
And also got The Last of Us remastered.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've had that one for a while.
Yeah, that's probably my next game that I'm going to play after I get done with Far Cry.
Have you played it before?
Yeah.
Not the remastered version, though?
I played it on PS3 when it first came out.
And that's pretty much it for my week.
Mr. TJ?
All right, so this week went on vacation, like we were talking about earlier, to the Gatlinburg Pigeon Forge area.
How great was Dollywood?
We went to the Splash Park.
Okay.
It was
butterflies everywhere.
Yes, butterflies everywhere.
Absolutely.
It was
no food.
Yeah, the food situation was kind of bad.
Really?
Yeah, we went and I told the long version of the story to Chuck earlier, but basically stood in like 30-minute lines to be told that the things that we wanted to get at lunchtime were sold out.
Oh man.
Yeah. And it's not like you stand in a salad and sandwich line to be told that they're out of wraps and out of salads. And to be told when you're in a taco line that they're out of taco meat and nachos. I mean,
yeah.
It's kind of like one of those
during
were you really
lunch.
trying? It's like 12:30. Were you really trying to have it in there? And it's not like they open those stands right when the park opens at 10. These were open like at 11, 11:30.
Yeah.
So, they may need to work on the management on there. But went to a comic shop while we were there in Sevierville called Escape Reality.
Okay.
It's a pretty fun shop. It's a little small, but
I love going to comic shops in other states and other places when I'm there.
Yeah,
Allison does not love it as much.
That's awesome.
So this was Katie's idea. She wanted to go.
Nice.
So, you get what you marry.
There you go.
But she picked up some books. She picked up some of the Saga books that she's been missing, and
is she reading the floppies now? Because I know she was doing the trades.
She gets the trades, but she'll grab the single issues when she can because she misses the story. She's all caught up now, and now she wants to see more of the story. So, went mountain climbing, and most of the time when you're in the Smoky Mountains and you talk about mountain climbing, you talk about going up the trail to the top of the mountain. Well, if you've ever played like Elder Scrolls or Fallout and you're on the mountain and you're like, the windy trail goes up and you're like, well, I'll just go up this trail. I'll just go straight up. Not a good idea in real life, by the way.
Usually not a good idea in the video games.
Did you get stuck? Did you clip in the mountain?
I did. I felt like I was going to.
Somewhere else.
Did you fall through the map?
I felt like I was going to sometimes. But my kids went with me, and where it started off is my brother-in-law's like, you know what? I think I can just get to the top if I go straight up. And so his wife is big into that too, and she's like, well, yeah, let's go. And then my daughter's very adventurous as well. She's like, well, let's go, and hauls ass up the side of the mountain after him. And then my father-in-law starts up, and Josh kind of gets there to the bottom. He starts looking up. And I try to encourage my son to do things out of his comfort zone when I can. So Josh looks at me. He's like, are you going? Like, if I'm not going, he's not going. So in my encourage my son to do things that he normally wouldn't do, I'm like, yep, right behind you. Now, none of us are prepared except for Matt, my brother-in-law. The rest of us are wearing an assortment of sandals or running shoes.
Sandals?
Yes.
That must be
Oh
Josh.
my god.
Well, Josh is wearing like the all-over Crocs type things.
Okay.
So
Even better.
and they're brand new to boot.
Oh, man, he's messed up his good Crocs.
So my point on that is there's no grip to them. They're just slippery. And he almost fell off the damn mountain twice. And I caught him once. So
You're like
that was an adventure.
Kung Pao when they throw the baby down the side.
So that was an adventure.
I'm glad you saved your son
Yeah.
from death. And
Twice.
Crocs. You have two Crocs. What the
Well, they
fuck?
don't look
I
like-
can't climb up a mountain.
They look more like water
Where are the
shoes.
mountain Crocs at?
They look more like water shoes, you know?
Note to self: take the trails next time.
Yeah, take the trails.
Fucking
If you're in the mountains,
take a golf cart.
take the trails. There are reasons people have made these trails.
Yes.
Switchbacks are there for a reason.
Yes. Started getting into this TV show, Impractical Jokers, about the four guys that set each other up to do jokes and stuff like that.
Mhm.
They have to do what the other ones tell them. It's kind of fun.
I love that show.
Yeah, it's
I always
it's
watch
a
it when
lot
I'm
of
over at
fun.
Nathan's house.
Yeah, I was about to say Nathan makes me watch it a lot.
He makes you watch it. Isn't this funny?
It's
I'm
alright.
just sitting
Laugh,
there.
Ray.
I'm just sitting there at night, and it's my about to go to bed show, and while I was in the mountains,
Hey,
I was
you
like,
were on vacation. It should have been Diners, Drive-Ins,
But yeah,
and
what the
Dives.
fuck were you doing?
couldn't find it.
Then you weren't
Fucking-
actually on vacation.
You were in the wrong state.
Well, you
buddy.
said already I wasn't on vacation if the kids were there.
That's
You're
true.
right.
So this is more confirmation of that. And then last but not least, watched the movie Tag this week.
I kind of want to see it. It looks fun.
It was a lot of fun. It's not going to be one of those game-changing movies or anything else.
Good, because
But
I
was
hate that phrase.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was Jeremy Renner and John Hamm and Ed Helms.
Hannibal Buress and Jake Johnson.
Yeah, and they're five friends who've been playing a game of tag for over 30 years.
Based on a true story.
Yeah, based on a true story. And Jeremy Renner plays the one guy that's never been tagged. And he's getting married, and he's going to hang up his running shoes and not play the game anymore with them. So the month
dick move.
the month of May
I want
is
to go out on a high
open.
note.
No, when you're that into it and you're that good, you got to retire eventually,
Yeah.
or you're going to lose
This
your
isn't
champion.
like I'm playing
You die
for a
hero
year
or
and then
live
I
long
stopped
enough to
playing.
become the villain.
Yeah, it's not. I played the game for a year and I stopped. He's been playing 32 years with these guys,
Exactly.
never been tagged, and they go to some outrageous lengths. Like
Shenanigans,
they'll dress up in costumes and shit, and lock doors and exits, and and everything to keep people from getting out and try to pin people in. And
Sounds dangerous.
some of the shit is fucking dangerous that they did. But it's just a fun movie. I recommend it especially if you have something like Movie Pass, where your tickets are like $6, then go for it. You know, it's a fun movie, fun get away from the house and have a good time. And that's it.
Okay,
Michael.
we're so
Mike.
last. Hey guys,
Ooh.
it's been kind of a good and a bad week. I'm going to start out with the bad and move to the good.
Okay.
The bad involved, well, as I told on the last podcast, I've been wanting to play Fallout 4.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so my copy is just gone. Like, I don't know where the fuck it is. It's just gone. Yeah, it's been like 3 years, so... whatever. I cut my losses at that point. I said, you know what? They're going to have a Game of the Year edition, and as I've said multiple times on the podcast, I don't have good internet, so I don't have to worry about downloading it. I can just get it and play it and have a full experience. And I wanted it on PlayStation because that's kind of what I'm moving to now. Well, I get to the store. They don't have it on PlayStation. I'm like, okay, what about Xbox One? They do have it on Xbox One. And, you know, me being a conscientious buyer, I was like, hey, man, so the DLC, it's on the disc, right? Because it's a Game of the Year edition. Oh, well, I don't know. Let me check my database here. Yep, yes, it is. Like, cool, excellent. That means I have no hassle. I can play it all, purchase it, get to the car, remove the seal that makes it non-returnable, and look into it, and what do I see? A DLC barcode for 6 different DLCs. Yeah. So, number one, he lied to me, or it was just incompetence, which I consider it both.
I believe it's incompetent.
Yeah. Number two...
It is GameStop.
Why the fuck would you have a Game of the Year edition and not put the content on it? Because you're just selling me a regular copy of Fallout 4 with a DLC voucher.
That's what they're going to now with this stuff.
It's like, I just don't understand what these companies, like, how much more would it cost them to put the extra stuff on a disc? I have no idea. I mean,
It honestly might not fit.
Yeah.
put a fucking second disc. These are Blu-ray discs.
These things
have
cost nothing.
gigabytes, gigabytes of space on
These
them.
are the same people that will re-release the same fucking game all the time.
Oh yeah,
Instead of making something new, they finally make something new.
I know. I'm hashing an argument that, you know, I've heard many times as a GameStop employee when I worked there, and, you know, just I know that 90% of the world has good internet.
It's a bitch ass move, though.
It is a bitch ass move, you know. So I got basically a game that fucking I can't really do anything with. TJ was gracious enough to let me carry my entire fucking Xbox over to his house to download stuff because a multi-million-dollar company is too lazy. Well, I mean, they would probably only be $100,000 company if they added that content, you know.
It would have cost them another like 10 cents.
Arm and a leg. You know, we got to push Elder Scrolls 6 back because we had to put this Game of the Year shit on this disc for this asshole with no internet. So, you know,
God, for the amount they make, it probably wouldn't even cost 10 cents.
They have released Elder Scrolls Skyrim on so many. They have made.
They got their money.
That Alexa commercial they did was fucking so hilarious, but so true.
They got fucking Nintendo money.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah. So put the shit on the disc. God damn it! It really infuriates me, as you can tell. So moving on from that, I watched the movie Annihilation back in February. That was a Natalie Portman movie where yeah. So I really enjoyed it. And I found out it was based off a book, and there's a trilogy. So they had Audible had a package deal, all 3 books. So I bought it for 1 credit, and I've been listening to it. I just got done with Annihilation, the book that the movie was based off of. Really good. They're not standard sci-fi movies. They're really heady, and it's still really good.
I wanted to see that movie.
They're really hard to quantify. Like sometimes it can kind of branch off into like Altered States territory, or, you know, a 40-year-old movie reference, and can just get kind of strange. But all around, it's a really cohesive story. They keep you guessing. I'm enjoying it. I don't know if the book's for everybody, but the movie's pretty good. And I'm really enjoying it. To kind of give you guys and our listeners an idea, general gist of it, for the last 30, 40 years, there's been a section of the U.S. they call Area X that was blocked off for a while, and then it started, basically letting people in. And the government has created a department called Southern Reach. They kind of explore this area, and they've had 12 expeditions. The characters on the 12th one, the biologist who is the main character. So an all-female group is the 12th expedition, and they kind of go in there and just it's like biological sci-fi. Possibly alien, you don't know, but it's really cool. I enjoyed it a lot. The book's awesome. I'm really enjoying the second one. It's from a different character's point of view, so you're kind of getting a different side of the story. Also, one of my favorite narrators are narrating the second one, Bronson Pinchot.
Nice.
He's a great narrator, as good as Will Patton, I feel.
Who would I know him from?
He was Balki Bartokomous.
From Perfect Strangers.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was also...
Don't know that.
You ever seen Beverly Hills Cop 3?
Or one.
God, it would have been years ago.
Yeah,
Serge.
Yeah, Serge. He played an effeminate gun designer on Beverly Hills Cop.
He was in the first one as well.
He was at the art gallery.
Yeah.
First one.
Yeah, Serge has been on them, but that's what I remember. And then his main claim to fame was him playing Balki Bartokomous, the foreign crazy roommate on Perfect Strangers, a 1980s television show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might notice him if you looked at his face or whatever. Normal people. But so that's really good. So far, I'm enjoying that. I got back into Ash vs. Evil Dead. I was kind of pissed off when they canceled the show. But I jumped back into season 3. I'm on episode 4 right now. The stories are always fun, super bloody. The Ghost Beaters are at it again. It's a great name for their group.
Ghost Beaters?
I haven't gotten that far.
Yeah,
apparently.
no, they call it. Pablo calls themselves the Ghost Beaters. But it's a lot of fun. In this particular one, Ash goes to a funeral home. I'm not going to go into too much story, but he has a connection with this woman, and there's a child involved, like her daughter. She's at the funeral as well, and so he found out because she got her head cut off with a symbol. Not like a symbol in a book, like
a
gong symbol, like an instrument.
drum set.
Yeah, like Tilda got her head cut off, and the mortician was like, "Don't worry." It's like, "You're having an open casket funeral." Like her head went off, fella, and she's like, "Oh no, we sewed it back on." And of course, her being killed by a deadite.
Yeah,
she pulls him into the fucking casket and just starts whipping his ass. And then when the funeral happens. He's all knocked out and fucking opens the casket and he falls out.
TJ, have you or Chuck watched any of these?
I've watched the first season.
No, I haven't seen them.
They're disgusting.
They're disgusting,
I
but
love them.
so delightful.
Yeah, I'm so pissed that this is the last season, but I am savoring it. And to round out my nerd on, I watched a movie that I had never watched before. It's a lot older. It came out in the 70s. It's got a cult following. Like I said, I've never seen it before, so I wanted to kind of up my movie street cred. Didn't think I would enjoy it, but I actually did. I watched The Warriors.
Oh yeah, The Warriors is pretty good.
Never seen it.
It's fun.
No, I didn't see it until like the early 2000s.
I saw maybe 2 years ago.
I didn't see it until yesterday.
Yeah.
But I love James Remar in it. The dad from Dexter. He's in he's in it. He also played Raiden, I think, in the second Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
And then, of course...
Okay, I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah, and then, of course, the Lucas, I think his name is, the leader of the Rogues. Of course, that's T-Bird from The Crow.
And what's his name from Commando? Oh, what's it? The one that he throws up. Remember, I told you I'd kill you last, and
oh yeah.
That guy.
Yeah. I thought that the gang outfits were quite silly.
Oh yeah,
but it was just I can't explain it. It was for the hokiness of it and the bad fighting choreography. a really good movie.
Yeah.
I was legitimately surprised how good it was.
Yeah, it's a pretty classic film and everything. Because like I said, I think I watched it mid 2000s. Because I had this dumb book, 1001 movies you should watch before you're dead, or something like that. So I was like, I want to watch a lot of these films, and I had never seen The Warriors, and I knew it was like a classic film and all. But I watched it. I was surprised at how good I thought it was. So I haven't seen it since then. So it's been probably another 10 years or more.
I would say give it a watch. I would definitely see it again.
Yeah.
But that's it for my Nerd On, guys.
Cool. You want to move on to the news?
News. Yeah, let's do some news. Newsy boozy.
Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce you to the newsman of the evening, Jimmy Ray Hancock. Come on now. He's with the news. You're gonna read the news now. Jimmy Ray is with the news. Hey Ray, what type of news you got tonight? Well, I hope it's good. This is Ray with the news. Here we go. Ray's with the news jam. Ray's reading the news jam. Ray's reading the news jam. Ray's reading the news jam.
Nice. So E3 was this week.
Yeah.
And we got a ton of video game news.
Yeah.
So we're going to hit a couple of them that like we're into. We know there was a lot more, but we've been following Kojima's Death Stranding.
Very, very weird.
Very strange.
Yeah, there's almost zero story revealed, but they had a gameplay demo over the week.
Yeah.
For E3, and we'll let Ray go into it.
So we've got from The Walking Dead,
Norman
Reedus is kind of, I guess, the starring role in this game.
Yes.
Like Mike said, it's a very strange looking game. I haven't played a lot of Kojima stuff. I know he did all the Metal Gear games and all. And for the longest time, I thought they were just like military kind of shoot 'em up games. But one of my buddies, Darren, started playing them and was telling me about them, and they're weird. They have a lot of weirdness to them. And
they have a lot of eccentric characters and odd storylines and things like that.
And we've kind of been following this game for a while now. This is probably about the third or fourth time we've talked about it.
Yeah.
Because I think they've had a couple of the little trailers of things, and it's just very cryptic and very strange. But I'm completely intrigued.
Yeah, I'm on board for it. I mean, the gameplay looks really interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To kind of, from what we've all kind of discussed, it seems like it's after some kind of apocalypse or fall of civilization. There seem to be some, for lack of a better word, supernatural elements.
Very supernatural, yeah.
Yeah, like invisible monsters or things that you can only see with like a special light. Norman Reedus' character, which I think his name's Sam, is a courier of some type. He takes packages across the landscapes. I wouldn't call it a wasteland, but they're very, very different landscapes you see him walking across. And he finds a baby in an incubator, like a small portable incubator that he powers up, and for some reason he seems to need to protect it. I don't know if babies aren't born anymore or if there's some kind of impurity or what, but something seems to have happened to humanity, and this baby appears very important. There seems to be a lot of stealth gameplay as well. There's a lot of monsters and things that you have to kind of avoid. But that's pretty much as far as we can tell what's going on.
Looks like the Postman on like, or was it the Postman with
Kevin Costner?
Kevin Costner on like super drugs.
Yeah, exactly.
Looked like the because he activated the incubator right before he went on that
like
stealth mission.
Powered it up. Like, I don't know if
like
he just found it or
like an umbilical connection.
I think
with
because he said I've got an idea, and then it looked like the baby could notice the supernatural things
maybe
out there.
because the baby isn't just like in stasis, the baby can move around and seems to interact.
Yeah.
So once again, that kind of like babies don't normally do that, especially in utero. So who knows what the fuck is going on? In fact, the entry of it is the intro to the entire trailer is a baby in a birth canal, which he, shows his ass to the camera and then goes around and like gives the camera a nice thumbs up in this vagina, and it's just very odd.
Yeah.
Strange,
compared to the first reveal they had for it.
Yeah, but the gameplay looks pretty damn creepy. Yeah. And despite my and everyone else's gripes with Kojima's very odd abstract storytelling, the gameplay is always usually very solid. And this looks to be the same thing.
I think most of our listeners know that I'm not a huge video game nerd, but this has me hooked already. I'm like, what the hell is this? I want to know more about it.
Ray will tell you about it in 10 years.
Yeah, in 10 years, I'll probably pick this game up and put it on my shelf.
Guys, I found this classic edition of Death Stranding. Works on my PS8.
We also got a Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is due out October 5th.
This might be the first
really
Assassin's
good.
Creed game I buy.
That's
me
pretty
too.
good.
Again,
This will be the 10th one I buy, probably.
Well, you love the franchise, Mike.
Yeah.
again, not a huge video game person, but watching this trailer, this looks like I've seen a bunch of the other Assassin's Creed trailers when they've come out.
Let me ask you this, because I feel like it had a lot of the same elements, as far as like stealth gameplay, some look at this historical context, look at the landscape. What about this specifically drew you in?
I think because it was like more like in Rome, kind of
Greece.
Yeah, Greece, whatever.
The Peloponnesian Peninsula, if you want to get specific.
technical.
That to me, I don't know. That speaks to me a lot more than like ancient Egypt.
Because you were there.
Yeah, exactly. Then
like going home.
This honestly looks more like God of War to me. It doesn't look very stealthy at all. I didn't see much stealth aspects to it.
It did. I don't know. It didn't.
Cutscenes are never stealthy. It'll be stealthy.
Yeah,
I guarantee. That's the whole point of the gameplay. But in a lot of Assassin's Creeds, depending on the fighting system, you can stand toe to toe in a brawl. It's just
it's not the point.
Yeah, it's not the point.
You get better. You get a better score normally. Score's very subjective, but you get a better score if you do the mission the way they tell you to do it.
Yeah.
But you can do it any way you want.
Yeah, but it's also, how is a Spartan going to be an assassin? Because that's what it looks like.
Well, yeah, that's the kind of thing. It looks like, from what I can tell, it's maybe during the Peloponnesian War, which is the league that the Spartans are in, and then I believe the Athenians and the Delial League. I think it's, I can't remember the exact behind it, but it takes place.
Katie will let us know later.
Yeah. 300 years. Yeah, she's sitting there like, this is all bullshit and wrong. It takes place about 300 years before Assassin's Creed Origins, believe it or not, which that game kind of takes place at the end of the Egyptian Empire, so that would kind of make more sense. And Origins also told for lack of a better term, origins of the Assassins, the Assassin's Guild or whatever it's called.
Brotherhood?
The Brotherhood, there you go. So I'm not quite sure where they're going to go with this. I'm sure there's more backstory and the Forerunners and all that good stuff. But it looks really good.
Very cool.
I mean, coming from a non-fan like Ray, he thinks it looks really good.
It looks really good. It looks really good. Almost all of these games that we're going to talk about today looked really fucking good. They look beautiful now.
Just some of the background shots, like the Poseidon, and you have Atlas holding up the world and all that. That looked kind of cool to me.
Moving on, we had a new trailer that had some gameplay for Last of Us 2.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people. I think I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I started Last of Us. I was bad at it. I hated it. I still want to know the fucking story of it, so I'll go back later and.
I was playing on easy, man, because the stealth at the very beginning is really fucking hard.
Yeah, exactly. I was playing it on normal because I was like, I don't want to be a wuss and play it on easy. But
the story.
I was getting my ass kicked.
The game is I would say challenging the whole way through, but the very beginning part, it's rough. You don't have a lot of the abilities. You don't have a lot of the weapons, so you have to rely on stealth. And although I play a lot of stealth games, I'm not that great at it either.
Yeah. But this looked really good.
Really violent.
Really violent.
Like beyond like Last of Us. I mean, I know there was a scene where dudes like jamming a crowbar into some dude's kneecap and popping it off in the first one.
What?
Yeah, you'll get to that.
Yeah.
But it is just visceral is the only way I can really describe it.
And it looked very, I mean, aside from, taking hit damage and stuff, it looked very realistic too. Like
small details.
when you're stabbing somebody in the neck, they're not just going to just die from the one
Yeah,
stab.
they're struggling.
Yeah, they're still struggling. You're having to like put it in, just stab multiple times in the neck.
Just like in real life.
They showed Ellie also when she was behind the counter. She had the arrows pulled it out of her arm or out of her shoulder.
Which I don't know if that's a cutscene or if that's going to be a mechanic. Because it seems like with this game, they're going to have small in-engine cutscenes.
That's what it looked like.
In between. So I think it was kind of a mixture of the both.
Okay.
I don't know if that'll actually be a mechanic, but it would be pretty fucking cool if it was.
You don't want to necessarily do that in combat anyway.
Yeah,
No,
because,
it was after the part when she was under the car and she was running. She got shot in the shoulder with an arrow.
Yeah.
And you saw her arm go limp as she jumps off that ledge before she goes in the store.
Yeah.
So it still had like, she wasn't like, okay, there's an arrow and she's fine, but it's like it still affected her. Just that mechanic of it, or physics of it.
Go on.
Yeah, but I think we all agreed looks
good.
fucking badass.
Yeah, I mean, not just that it's bloody, but
It looks
it just
beautiful.
the
looked
gameplay,
good.
the mechanics look solid like the last one, and it looks like there's going to be some human drama, some story
It's
there
Naughty
as well.
Dog. I mean, you've come to expect it at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Halo Infinite.
Teaser trailer.
Very teaser.
No idea.
But it looks like that Mr. Cheif is fucking hanging out, doing the castaway thing in his armor. And they have just a big view of big Halo-like landscapes. The Marines track him down. You see him kind of like... you see the back of his legs as he's walking into frame, and he's got his helmet in his hand, and you don't see his head, obviously, but he puts it on like back to work.
Yeah.
And,
Very much like the Halo 3 trailer back in the day.
Yeah, back in the saddle.
Yep.
So it looks like old Mr. Cheif is going to take on some more Guardians and or Covenant.
Right on. We also, speaking of very, very, very teaser-ish, Elder Scrolls 6.
They announced
we basically just got a...
It was the first 20 seconds of the intro of them like just flying across the landscape. And then Elder Scrolls 6. 'Cause that's pretty much all they need to do to hype up everybody.
And speaking of Bethesda...
Dave Bautista?
Dave Bautista. Fallout 76. We got a little bit more on that.
No gameplay. It looks like there's some gameplay.
A little bit, yeah.
But it's mostly just like still scenes to show landscape and environments.
But they did describe what the game was going to be. And they said it's going to be a lot like Fortnite and Rust and that type.
Yeah, you start out with nothing, and you kind of scavenge gear and build up your character completely online. Takes place 20 years after the bombs fall.
And you can play it solo, from what I've heard.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard there's a solo mode.
Okay,
but the thing is, it's always online.
Yes.
So if you have poor internet, everything will lag.
Yeah.
Like in The Division I experienced last week.
Lame.
Yeah.
Gears of War 5. We got a trailer for this as well.
Purely all just cutscene.
But it looked incredible.
Oh, it looked great.
Gears of War is another one of those series too that they use their in-game engine for their cutscenes.
Oh yeah, no, it looks fantastic. There are some gameplay scenes, but it's just kind of clips showing different environments.
Yeah.
You've got JD Phoenix back. You've got Marcus back. You've got the two other dudes that are with you, and of course the lady.
My favorite.
Who seems to be
two other dudes.
Who seems to be the main character in this.
Yeah, well, the story's kind of about her and her lineage, so to speak.
Okay.
That's as much as I kind of want to go into it for those who haven't played Gears 4. but it seems like this is kind of they're going along the same story path. So I think that's what this trilogy is going to comprise, is her.
Okay.
All right. Doom Eternal. Another
Once again,
just teaser.
Just a teaser. But from those who play Doom and who have not, the end of the game kind of get fucked over a little bit. Just a teensy-weensy bit, and get sent to hell. But, you know, you're a million years old. You have extra-dimensional armor that feeds off of demonic energy, so you're probably going to be okay. And you're just going to fucking tear everybody to hell, pretty much. Yeah, you're going to tear it, you asshole. But it's just, you come in over a hellscape, it's just pure chaos, like something out of like Beetlejuice's nightmares. And then you get one of those amazing back-of-the-knee shots as he comes down on a cyber demon skull and fucking loads in a sawed-off shotgun to murder a bunch of demons. And then, of course, it says Doom Eternal.
Yeah. We also got Just Cause 4. Nathan is more our guy for Just Cause, and he is not here tonight, but we'll add that in the show notes.
Yep.
Spider-Man, we got some more gameplay for the Spider-Man movie coming out, or not movie, game.
No.
I can't really say it's anything spectacular. Nothing's blowing me away, but at the same time, I know what I want from it.
Yeah.
And it's giving me that. It's
exactly.
giving me web slinging, it's giving me brawling, it's giving me really cool boss battles.
Yeah.
Everything I want out of a Spider-Man game that I've missed since like PlayStation 1 era and PlayStation 2. So
Exactly.
I'm super excited.
Right on. Yeah, it looks great. It looks great. We also got a Smash Brothers Ultimate is another thing that they're going to be doing, and you're going to be getting every Smash character ever.
People are losing their shit over this.
Yeah. I'm not a Smash person. I've never played Smash Brothers, honestly. Sorry, guys. But
No, I've played it, but I just don't. I don't think I get it.
Yeah.
I'm just not into it. I'm number
And
one.
I don't have a Switch.
And number one, I'm not that good at them. Number two, it just takes a lot of practice.
Yeah.
And that's not something I want out of a game. You know, I'm playing a game for an experience, not to be the best.
Yeah.
So that's just me. But one thing I did see is that they really worked on like hitbox type stuff. So what that means for everybody that doesn't know is a lot of times it would look like when you were playing a game, like a fighting game, you would get a guaranteed hit and it would miss, or it'd be the other way around where like there's no way that would hit you, but it does hit you. You know, so that's something that they've really been working on, especially since Smash tournaments are huge.
Yeah.
You know, and they're becoming as popular, more popular than like Street Fighter and all those other games. So I think it's something they've really put some focus on. So I think you're going to get some exciting gameplay out of it. Just watch some videos. There's a really funny one with, I think it's Ryu fighting Luigi, and so he throws this fucking fire, and Luigi just kind of like just bends over and then just kind of like skirts right under it, and then he does this fucking crazy move where he just like fucking comes like stiff as a board and just like worms onto the ground. It's fucking hilarious, but it shows how well the hitbox is. It's really funny, but that looks for something that I'm not interested in at all. It looks like a really good game, really solidly built, and a lot of fun.
Very cool.
Yep.
Kingdom Hearts 3, the release date was announced. January 29th of 2019.
Don't believe it.
Fuck them.
Don't believe it.
Square Enix is full of shit.
They're putting out more and more trailers for it, like different scenes, different stuff for the game. I mean,
eventually get the whole game.
Until that box is on a shelf.
I know.
I call bullshit.
Yeah.
But I will say they've done. It looks amazing, especially if you haven't seen the Pirates of the Caribbean trailer for it. I could see where a lot of time went with it, and a lot of money went into it. Because like,
don't they have to put out like 1.75 and 2.75, and then 2.9, and then 1.9 before they get all the way to 3 yet?
They've already had those. They've already put them out.
The 0.9 and 0.75.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know anything about this.
It's the big thing. Is like if you played 1 and 2, they were on the PlayStation 2.
Yeah,
you got that story.
PlayStation 2.
Yeah, you got that story. But the problem is, For 3, if you haven't played all the fucking handheld games, you're not going to get the complete story.
That's lame.
So they've re-released them again on home for the home console.
Okay. Weird. Well, we also got an announcement of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and it's supposed to come out in the holiday of 2019 and be between 3 and 4, so Revenge of the Sith and New Hope. So it is by Respawn.
Yep.
Respawn's good.
That's about all we really know about it. But it's pretty cool because, you know, you're getting another Star Wars game that's not Battlefront.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and TellTale released that they are going to be doing a Stranger Things game.
That should be really cool.
Yes.
They should also do a 16-bit side-scrolling platformer.
God, that is made for that.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So that's our video game news. There was a bunch more that came out at E3, but that's the spots we wanted to hit up on for you guys. So moving on, HBO has released that Game of Thrones, they've ordered a pilot for a prequel series.
Thought they were going to do this, so they're just now getting around to
They've
starting
announced
this.
They've been talking about it. This is actually putting their money where their mouth is.
Yeah.
Okay. Up, down for it.
Okay.
You're down for the
There is a possible Non-Rosanne Rosanne show in the works now. Of course, she famously made some rather questionable tweets on the Twitters.
Arguably very, very racist.
Arguably very racist, yes. So
Damn, woman.
they're looking at buying her out and doing a kind of, I guess
it would be like a Darlene-based show.
Exactly.
She would be the main character, but you would still look like have all the side characters, Dan and all that, which they were really playing off. I only watched the first episode, but they're really playing off Aunt Jackie and Roseanne's political views and how they were like, one was a bleeding heart liberal, one was, a staunch conservative. So I wonder if that dynamic how that will work in the new show, or if they'll just drop it all together.
I don't know. They were doing some other things with Darlene's kids and stuff like that, and
that's right, because you've seen more of the show than I have.
Yeah.
Trying to get that hot potato voice, huh?
I just think they, I don't know.
I don't care.
I don't see how they would buy her out. I don't think she'd sell it.
Well,
I think she would just.
She said she will, but she's known for changing her mind
being crazy and unpredictable.
Being crazy. Yeah. So
I think
dressing up like Hitler.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Geoff Johns of DC Entertainment, he's out. Sort of. He's going to go back to more creative stuff, and he'll be writing the Green Lantern Corps, which is exciting. And Jim Lee has been announced as the new Chief Creative Officer in DC.
I thought he was doing some kind of role like that already, but
Geoff was. Johns was.
Yeah, I know Jim Lee was doing or he was publisher or something, shit like that.
I don't think between the DC Entertainment stuff, I don't think he really had a whole lot doing.
Yeah, he wasn't in that side of it. He was more in the comic books as far as the creative lead in the comics.
Yes.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, but now he's part of the entertainment part. So the movies and stuff like that. And Johns is going back to writing, which is
his bread and butter.
He's really good at.
His milieu.
Yeah. So that's interesting to see. They also changed out the whole entire, the main person's been changed out. So we'll see what's going on with that. Moving on in the same kind of area, it's been rumored that Matt Reeves, the Batman, again, I think we've said this about 40 times and we've gone back and forth. It's rumored that Ben Affleck may not be a part of that, and it may be sort of a reboot. So
you mean a rebat?
A rebat.
Nice.
Another rebat.
These rebats are made for flapping.
Yep. We got some photos from Wonder Woman 1984, which is the title of the new Wonder Woman film, and what's his name?
Chris Pine.
Chris Pine, but what's his
Steve Trevor.
Steve Trevor,
Is
the
actually-
whitest name ever.
Yeah, exactly. Is in these, which is interesting.
Yeah.
If you've seen Wonder Woman,
maybe they Frankensteined them.
maybe.
Or
And they made them both
had
go
a
where no man is
time
going.
travel chemicals in that plane.
Time travel.
Time travel
chemicals.
chemicals.
You like?
It's comic books, man.
Yes.
I mean, it's funny, but I'm not just. I wasn't.
I'm not upset about it.
I wasn't like, ha ha, that's so improbable. I'm like, fuck, he's probably right. That's what I was laughing about.
I've read some things where people think that it's her having a hallucination, like because Cheetah is supposed to be the villain in this and stuff. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Ewan McGregor is going to play Danny Torrance in the Stephen King's Doctor Sleep, which is of course the sequel to The Shining. What are your thoughts, Mike? You've read this book. I say that in air quotes, but you've read this book, right?
Yes, I have experienced the contents of this book. I had actually someone read it to me. His name's Will Patton, a very nice guy. He recorded it for me, and
That was nice of him to come to your house and do
Patton
that.
does The Shining also?
he does a lot of Stephen King stuff.
Okay.
This isn't The Shining, Chuck. We're talking about Doctor Sleep.
Yeah, but to kind of give you an idea, Danny Torrance is a lot older. In this one, he's in his 40s. He's still kind of had the
Hence Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, he still has The Shining, but he's kind of run away from it, so to speak. And he's become a huge alcoholic, classic Stephen King. And the book kind of starts where he kind of drifts around for about 20 years throughout the country and ends up in where else but Maine, where he kind of gets his life together and whatnot. And there is also a group of, for lack of a better term, vampires.
If you ever find yourself in a Stephen King novel, just steer clear of Maine.
Just leave. Go to Florida, where
Yeah.
Dick Halloran went. Miami. That's a safe place. Hang out in a room with a lady with big titties and an afro, and you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. But that's kind of as far as I want to go into it. I mean, The Shining does his talent. The Shining, comes to point, but the fruition. But then it comes. It's an instrumental part of the story. But it's definitely nothing like The Shining. But at the same time, it's still a really good story. Not everybody thought it was great, but I enjoyed it. I'm interested to see what they'll do with the movie and how it will perform. Ewan McGregor's a pretty decent actor. I mean, look what he did with Obi-Wan, and he had very little to work with. Just move in front of this green screen and
Big Obi-Wan.
yeah, big Obi-Wan.
Act.
I'm gonna drink my coffee.
Stop acting.
And act.
Yeah. Action. You see what I did there, guys? This is my best George Lucas.
That's a pretty
Okay.
good George Lucas.
It's kind of do
like
like
he was right here in the room.
a nerdy Kermit.
Yeah.
That's George Lucas.
That's exactly. Kevin Feige has said that Captain Marvel is going to probably be the new face of the MCU.
What do you guys think that means? Like she'll be the main character, the leader, or
I mean, like Cap now is the
you think Cap is the? Because I think Iron Man is the main face.
I think
of
you
it.
can flip them both, but the last person you see when you watch a Marvel movie in that little logo is Captain America throwing his shield.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the two. You could interchange them.
Absolutely will be one of the two.
that's kind of what Civil War is. Was kind of the splintering of that. So both of them are kind of.
I honestly, I feel like the main face of MCU right now is Robert Downey. I feel like
RDJ.
there's no way to argue that, but I feel like Captain Marvel is more of a Captain America style person.
Yeah.
Character. We don't know what movie Captain Marvel's going to be like, but it's also interesting that Brie Larson, who is a relatively new face, which is great. I love that they do that sometimes in Marvel movies. They're banking their whole entire franchise, everything on her.
Yeah,
I'm interested because I don't think she's ever really carried a movie before. She's done some really good secondary character, side character type stuff, but I mean, she may have been. Don't quote me on that, but for this magnitude, I mean, this is kind of like thrust up in the big leagues.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what she does because I like Brie Larson a lot.
Yeah.
We're talking about, I mean, they're banking it on this one actress, but they bank their whole MCU on
RDJ.
on a third string superhero.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, before these movies, Iron Man was kind of like
No, yeah.
that guy, you know.
Yeah.
You know, okay, we have a thing. Oh, I guess we need Iron Man since he's been around since the beginning. You
And
know.
we don't own the X-Men or Spider-Man anymore.
Exactly.
We'll try this one.
Yeah, let's do this guy. So I'm not surprised that they're doing it. I mean, they're getting. I mean, she's not somebody that's been in big in everything, so you're not having to pay like Cumberbatch money or anything like that.
True.
So I'm excited to see where they go with it. Phase 4 is. I'm kind of sad to see the old guard go, but on the other hand,
But we've got a lot of their
It needs
stuff
to.
now.
yeah.
And this stuff has to end eventually. Some of it does. I've been super excited for the Captain Marvel movie since they announced it. That's when way back when they announced
Civil War and everything.
they did that trick where they announced
Serpent
Captain America
Society.
and the Serpent Society, and I was like, God, that's so hilarious. They announced Doctor Strange, which was the first one that I was like, fuck, Doctor Strange in the Marvel Universe, that is awesome. And then they announced Captain Marvel a little bit later, and that's been the one. Unfortunately, it's been the most far out one.
Yeah.
But I love Carol Danvers. I loved her in the X-Men when she was binary and everything. And she's a spoiler. She's the next character that I'm doing in Is for Nerd. But I've always really loved her character, so I'm really, really, really looking forward to this. But yeah, that seems they're banking a lot on a relatively unknown, which they've done before, multiple times.
Tom Holland,
yeah. Well, I mean,
Black Panther,
yeah,
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, almost all of this. Yeah, because Chris Pratt was in fucking Parks and Rec and what else?
Yeah.
And they made him fucking Star-Lord.
And he's sharing screen time with a tree and a raccoon.
Yeah.
Black
and
Panther
Dave
was a little
Bautista.
different.
Huh?
Black Panther was a little different. The guy
Wait,
was in
Dave
a lot
Bautista
of,
was in it?
He's really hard to see.
He's just
The guy that-
invisible the
the guy
whole
that played
time.
T'Challa played a lot of starring roles.
You mean Chadwick Boseman?
Yes.
He was in
Well,
that.
I mean, the
34
character,
and-
though.
Oh, the character.
No,
was
yeah.
character
I
was
mean,
okay. I thought you meant
Black
actor-wise.
Panther's another one of those guys that's
Okay.
kind of like, I mean, he's kind of important for the Marvel Universe, but it's like he's at best a C-list character.
Yeah. Okay.
He's not selling books on his own.
Yeah.
And then you bring him in, he's doing $1 billion movie.
I thought you were talking about the actor for it. So I was
No,
like,
no.
Whoa.
No, he's decent. Yeah, he's been in some decent shit before.
I love that celebrities reading mean tweets thing, and
That
yes.
was so good.
they talk. And Chadwick was reading his, and he's like, "How can the baddest dude in the fucking world have the widest name like Chadwick?" And it's just so good fun.
And we owe Charles an apology.
Actually,
We're sorry.
We
No.
were wrong.
No.
You were right.
no.
I'm
no,
sorry.
No. No.
Infinity War has made $2 billion with a B.
200.6. But the problem is, Mike Price is right in my ass.
I
He
did.
said
That's
He said $2,000,001,000. So Mike was actually right.
You fucking idiot! I knew
dummy.
it. Was gonna
Get off the podcast.
I will bask in that success. I was right.
Mike was right.
Chuck
guys.
wants to be humble. I'll be right for both. I was so right. I saw it coming from a mile away.
No,
I knew it was going to do $2 billion, but
I thought it was going to do a lot, but I didn't think.
I never
I didn't
thought
think
2
it'd do
billion.
2
I thought that
bill.
was way
well,
beyond.
Avatar made like 2.9.
Avatar's
sat-
been re-released, hasn't it?
I know.
It was re-released and sat in a theater for
6
almost
months?
a year.
And,
yeah,
I
6
think
months to a year.
The only thing China loves more is communism and Transformers.
Yes.
They fucking loved Avatar.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Avatar's been out for like 37 years.
true.
God,
2006.
And this is
maybe
2 months, or not quite 2 months.
Fuck. That's
It
insane.
Came out the end of April.
It makes me want to see it again. God,
Am I still there?
I would never see Avatar again.
not Avatar. I've only seen Avatar once, and I hated it. So this is the last piece of news we've got today.
Thank God.
Comcast, those motherfuckers at Comcast, have offered $65
Boo you, Comcast.
billion for Fox, which ups Disney's bid of $58 billion originally. They've offered $65 billion cash. Nothing is official. Nothing is
Cash money.
cash
right
money
my
on
hand.
the dot.
Mr. Comcast there with
So
his
they've started.
big ass briefcase.
So hopefully they've started a bidding war, and Disney says, "Fuck nah,
Yeah.
y'all."
Why would you get into a bidding war with the mouse? I know Comcast has money because
No, if anyone's
they
going to,
charge you
Comcast
money.
is
They
not.
charge you their customers a
Because
shitload of money.
The 56 or the 65 billion they're charging is probably what you pay per month for cable chunk.
Everybody.
That's all you guys is cable money.
Yeah, exactly. But
on the back of all the late
so
fees.
Disney's like
Yeah.
56. I'm like, Comcast. Disney has a lot more money than you think.
We're like, guys, we're closing down Avatar Island. We need to liquidate some things.
But it's I think the second week of July is when they're actually Fox is supposed to sit down and go, okay, this is the bids and all this.
Because it was
What are
supposed
we
to be the
gonna
12th originally.
do? Yeah.
So we'll see. We're still following that. We're still hoping Disney. I think I explained a couple of weeks ago. I've been saying for months and months and months and months and months that if Fox sells to someone else, Disney properties or the Marvel properties will go back. Apparently, that may not be true, and it's only if Fox tries to sell them. If you buy all of Fox, so you get those anyway. So that's not a big deal in this whole overall thing.
No.
They're concerned with a lot more than that. But us as nerds, that affects us. We want
yeah, I've
X-Men
heard of
and
some-
Fantastic Four back.
I've heard of some other analysts
Star
talking
Wars.
about possibly splitting the assets between the two
Yeah.
as well. So there's a lot going on with this.
There's a
and
lot of possibilities that could happen.
Well, I'm wondering when they're going to start like worrying about like a media monopoly.
and that's where
And that's part of the thing. Comcast, if they buy it, really could get like the FCC and everything could be like, nah, dog.
Well, I mean,
Disney's
they
not-
just approved fucking AT&T and Time Warner.
Yeah, Disney, they're not as concerned about. Like all the analysts and everything are like, this probably won't get like flagged as much as the other one. So it's one of those things that that Fox will have to like play into. Like,
yeah, it's going
if they pick Comcast, they might be told no, dog.
I just feel like Comcast is going to do just like the fucking bare minimum just to keep these around. Like they're just going to like crank out more Fox level Fantastic Four movies.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Or not
Last
even
Stand.
do anything with it. Just sit on it.
Yeah.
They're known for just sitting on
Yeah,
shit.
I mean, they could be. It seems like most everybody, Verizon included, and a lot of other places, their big, claim to future fame is media generation, creating media, and I think with the advances in technology, Comcast is looking to kind of spread their eggs out in one basket when their form of internet eventually goes away. Because I'm pretty sure eventually it'll all be cellular wireless, like for computers everywhere.
Oh,
It'll just, and you'll just be able to pick it up out of the sky. And Comcast is kind of hedging their bets with that. Like I said, Verizon did it when they bought Yahoo and AOL. They inherited a huge digital media platform, Yahoo Screens, all that stuff. They were running Community for a while through Yahoo Screens. So, I mean, there's a lot of potential and a lot of infrastructure that they don't have to do. And I'm pretty sure Comcast is doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So is GameStop.
And Hulu and everything is a big part of this because they'll own 2/3 of Hulu at that point. Whoever buys it. So, but I need Disney to remember, guys. Remember, you just made $1 billion off Black Panther and $2 billion off of Avengers.
Put a decent X-Men on the
Think
screen.
about the X-Men. Or Fantastic Four, even. I think you could do $1 billion with the Fantastic Four if you do a good one. So, anyway, that's all I got from the news this week, guys. So, I think that's us.
I think
That's what we got.
You know what I guess? Well, it seems like we're going to wrap things up. Anybody have any closing statements?
No, I had a good time this week.
I did too.
Yeah,
despite all the bad stuff in Comcast and everything, and
Fuck Comcast.
Fallout Game of the Year.
I feel like
edition.
this setup that we have here tonight was a really good setup, and I feel like I'm not under pressure
Yeah, there's
by some force in the other side of
to
the room.
stop at 1 hour and
there's a
to
lot
be shitty.
of less background noise. Just like
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe
Trying
that's,
to
that's
tell
a good thing.
shitty jokes and shit.
Yeah, that's my job.
Leave that to Mike.
Leave that to the guy who knows how to be shitty. As always, guys, listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, Podbean. We're also generating content on YouTube, as well as Instagram as well. So look at us, look for us there. If not, we'll be happy to hear what you think about the podcast. And as always, enjoy the show, and we'll be here next week. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for listening, guys. Nerds Who Get Laid Sometimes is recorded at the illustrious Big Brown Record Town Studios in beautiful downtown Lake City. Episodes are published each Monday on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, and Google Play. You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Nerds Who Get Laid. We're at Nerds Who Get Laid on Twitter and Instagram. We're part of the Geeks Worldwide Podcast Network. You can find reviews and articles we write at thegww.com. We're also part of the Modest Pod Podcast Network. We're on FloridaGeekScene.com and also WeBeGeeksPC.com. Please subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Podbean. You can also check out the show notes for links about things we talked about in this episode. Thanks so much.
This has been a production of the GWW Radio Network. Please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. Also, check out Geeks Worldwide at thegww.com for all the latest news, reviews, and opinions on video games, comics, movies, TV, cosplay, and more. Geeks Assemble!